Welcome to my cozy little corner. And today I have my quarter one DNFs and disappointments. So far I have read 27 books in the year of 2026. I've had 7 DNFs. 4 of those were soft DNFs. 3 of them were hard DNFs. And then I had 2 disappointments. So, before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment of what you DNF'd. Very curious. And let's get into this. I want to try to keep my channel as positive as possible, but sometimes things just don't work for you, and that is okay. So, first, let's talk about my soft DNFs. So, in my terms, soft DNFs are basically books that I know I want to continue to read, but for whatever reason, I had to DNF them at that time. So, I'll get to them soon, basically. So, the very first book that I soft DNF'd was 1Q84 by Hirakami Murakami. Is that how you say it? I know it's Murakami. I know how to say his last name. Um, this book is long. This book is giant. I was really enjoying this book when I was reading it. It's very long. I think it's like over 1,200 pages. Don't quote me on that. I made it to the 30% mark, which is a lot of pages, and I was reading with my eyeballs, which is interesting. I kind of wanted to prove to myself that I could read something that long with my eyeballs. The issue was I got to like the second month of the year and hadn't finished it yet, and I was like, well, I want to dedicate time to other stuff. So I made the executive decision that I was going to soft DNF it, get the audiobook at some point, and give it a reread. Give it a reread. I want to finish it. I was enjoying it. It felt like a fever dream, and I love a good fever dream book. It had a lot of inputs I wasn't expecting. I guess to say what it's about really quickly, essentially, it's a girl in 1984 Tokyo, Japan, and she gets into a taxi and gets out of the taxi in an alternate universe 1984, which she calls 1Q84. There's so much more to it, but I think it's better to go in blind. I think most things are better to go in blind, but I think this is really good to go in blind. Um, I just was like fever dream, meaning like every single time a new input into the story happened, I was like, oh, we're going there. I will say, if you've heard issues about him, he does weird sexual things in his stories. It is true, and I just kind of shrugged it off. It's worth everything else in the story. It's a very engaging story, even though it's long. Honestly, I have trouble reading 200-page books with my eyeballs, so the fact that I got to like, I think like page 350 or something like that, the fact that I even got that far with my eyeballs is a feat in itself, to be honest. So yeah, 1Q84. The second book is a book called Treason Keep. It is the second book in the Medallion series. If you haven't seen, I'll link it below, my March wrap up. I read the first book in this series, really enjoyed it. This is what I would consider a popcorn series. It was fun. It was a silly, goofy, fun time. Not silly, goofy as in it was like actually comedic, but it was just a little campy in the best way. I do this thing where I'm having so much fun with the series and I go straight into the second one, and then every single time I do that, I DNF it. I need to stop doing that because I do it every single time. So for the people in the back, stop reading series consecutively. It doesn't work for me. I need to stop doing it. So, yeah, that's the main issue. To give you the quickest version of this synopsis, the series is essentially about a country called Medallion that sits kind of in between these 3 other countries. There are 3 POVs. There is a girl named Rachel, which is the daughter of a first sister, and the first sisters are basically the rulers of this country, and they're just power hungry, greedy, oppressive women, basically. And then it follows her half brother, Taja, and then it follows a character named Brack, who is a Harshini, who is a type of people who believe in like gods, which everyone else does not believe that they're alive or believe that they're a thing. And Harshini basically are very, very passive, and he is tasked with finding the demon child. There's a prophecy about this demon child, and this demon child is half human and then half demon child, and their father is supposedly the king, the dead king of the Hirshini. And then it's just like political upheaval from there. It's very heavy on the political intrigue. It's very plot forward. I very much enjoyed it. Like I really liked the first one, and I was liking the second one. There's like new characters in the second one that are very interesting. There's a very interesting, sassy, spoiled princess in the second one, which I kind of like. It was fun. I DNF'd it because I cannot read series consecutively. Every time I try to do it, like I need something in the middle, and I need to just stop doing that to myself. So yeah, that was Trees and Keep. Next one, oh, I'm so upset about this. I'm so upset about this. Watership Down. This is a soft DNF, and I think it's because I'm in denial about it being a hard DNF. But let me explain to you why. So, Watership Down is about a bunch of rabbits, from the rabbits' point of view, that decide to leave their little burrow, and it's their journey to find a new home. Audiobook, phenomenal. Voiced by Peter Cabaldi. Ugh, amazing. I do not know why I am struggling to read it. I don't know if I need to immersion read it. I don't know, but there's something about this book. I keep like I have no wanting to listen to it, but when I'm listening to it, I'm invested. I love animal stories. I love animal stories. I love stories about animals. I love anthropomorphic stories. I don't know if it's just too old for me and I'm trying to read something I think I'm going to enjoy, but I'm not enjoying it. And so I'm in denial. I don't know. And it sucks because on paper, it should be perfect. So many people talk about how good it is. And when I'm reading it, I enjoy it, but I just don't have the like wanting to. And I have so many other things that I'm reading or playing or doing at any given time that just forcing myself to do that doesn't work. So honestly, I let my hold run out, and so I have to put it back on hold. Um so that was a soft DNF but kind of a hard DNF. Until I can figure out why I don't want to read it, I'm not reading it. But I want to. So we'll get there at some point, I hope. And then the very last one is a nonfiction. So it is it's Frederick Douglass, but it has another name. It is a biography, a 40-hour long biography about Frederick Douglass. I got to the 50% mark and I just needed a break. I will be continuing this. I promise. I swear. Let it be known in the universe. I will finish this book. But 50% of a 40-hour book that is just information is 20 hours. I listened to 20 hours of information and it's great. It's phenomenal. It's very cinematic. Like it reads like in my head I feel like I'm watching a mini series about Frederick Douglass. Like it's great. It's phenomenal. I highly recommend it. It was just a lot at once. And I think next time I try to do a nonfiction that's this long, or even a nonfiction in general, or a biography, because I want to read a biography on Marie Antoinette as well. If I do that, I think I'm going to break it up in chunks. Like, I might literally tell myself, like, this month I read this percentage, this month I read this percentage, because telling myself to read the whole thing in 1 month didn't work, and I just like burnt myself out on it. So once I get the feeling to want to read nonfiction again, which is going to happen because it always happens, I will go back to it. So that's a soft DNF. All right, so I have my three hard DNFs, and these are very unfortunate. I am not someone who struggles with a DNF because I cannot force myself to do something I don't want to do. I'm not someone who struggles with it. I'm probably the opposite. I'm somebody who needs to start giving things a longer chance. I am a recovering not finisher. When I was a kid, I could not finish a book to save my life. And so DNFs are not hard for me at all. So I have three hard DNFs. The first one is a book called The Japanese Lover. This author has another book called The House Spirit, I believe. And I've just heard nothing but good things. And so I was expecting this book to also be phenomenal, or at least like have a good writing style, and I did not enjoy this book at all. I honestly, it's been so long I can't even tell you what this book is about. I can tell you that in the Goodreads reviews, a lot of people said the same thing. Read The House of Spirits, but do not read this book. I what I do remember is the premise. I do remember the premise not delivering. It did not deliver. I felt like the premise said one thing and then we got another. I remember being immensely bored. I specifically picked it out for Women's History Month, and unfortunately, two of the books that I've hard DNF'd I read for Women's History Month and I just didn't like them. I remember the characters feeling very flat. I remember thinking, how in the world does this have anything to do with the premise of the book? I was just bored, unfortunately, and I don't do boredom. If I'm bored, I'm moving on. So, yeah, I will be giving The House of Spirits. Pretty sure that's what it's called. I will be giving that book a read. It comes up on a lot of historical fiction like list, and I want to get to it at some point. But I just did not enjoy this one at all. The next book is called Juliet. This is interesting. Because I don't feel like I disliked this book, but so this book, the best way I can explain it would be it's like the Da Vinci Code if instead of like religion, the mystery aspect was surrounding the story of Romeo and Juliet and Shakespeare. I'm really into anything that's like that. I have a I have a little soft spot in my heart for Romeo and Juliet. Pretty big Romeo and Juliet fan. Um, for a lot of reasons, mostly nostalgia, but I love it. And so I love a good Romeo and Juliet retelling, and this just sounded really fun. It's like essentially about a girl whose mother or grandmother dies, and she has a twin, and her twin inherits everything, even though everybody hates her, including her grandmother. Um, and yeah, she gives everything she owns to the evil twin. And so the main twin, whose POV it is, basically gets an envelope saying it's like a key and says, go to Italy, go to Italy, which is where they're from, but they came here when they were babies for whatever reason. And it's like, go to Italy and go to this vault and take this key to this vault. And this key takes her to Italy and takes her to this like long, fun little scavenger hut situation, which is why it really does feel like Da Vinci Code. And like the main thing is like the story of Romeo and Juliet is real, but it's based off of a like possibly her ancestors question mark. Like it's that. Um, Honestly, premise top tier. Sounds like something I would love on paper. The writing was so flat. The character was so flat. The writing style was just so flat. Like I cannot think of any other word but flat. I am a little bit of a writing style snob. It's not that I want like crazy lyrical prose, but I need a little bit of oomph. And unfortunately, the writing had no oomph. I could have pushed through and I probably would have liked the plot, but I didn't care about the characters. I will say the evil twin situation was hilarious. Like the way they talk about her twin, hilarious. I can't even, it was really funny. It was just flat. And this is another long one. I think that this could be great if you have like a week long beach vacation and you want something, because it's set in like Italy in the summer. If you want something that you can sit on the beach and read for the entire week and it will take you like the week, but you want something that's like fun and light, and like pure escapism, I think this is a great book for that. I thought about it for my beach vacation, but writing style snob, so that will not be happening. But I hope somebody finds this book because there's someone who's gonna love this. I just know it. And it is older. I don't know if y'all been noticing, but like I've been reading a lot of older books. Specifically like that series I was talking about earlier, Trees and Keep. The book was literally published in 2004. So I've been reading a lot of like older books because I just feel like there's so many books that I have missed that I don't really care right now about new releases. And then the very last hard DNF, which I am also very disappointed. So I read or tried to read Memoirs of a Geisha for Women's History Month, and yeah, I don't know. This book gets brought up a lot. It's on a lot of historical fiction lists. And honestly, it's something that I was very interested to learn about. And it's about literally memoirs of a geisha. Like it's literally memoir. It's a memoir of a geisha. What's interesting about this book is it's written by a white man. It is written by a white man who essentially this geisha told him his story supposedly, and he took the story and wrote it. And the story itself is like and it's narrated through audible or audio by a woman. So it's her story, but something about that doesn't feel right. Something about a man saying a woman told him this story, a American man writing the story. I don't know. I don't know. It kind of felt weird, but I decided to just read it anyways, and I enjoyed it a little bit. I will say it's engaging. It's very engaging. Meaning like the events of the story are interesting. But oh my god, it literally feels like reading a list. Like it literally feels like the author was like this happened and then this happened and then this happened and then this happened. Like again, no like oomph. Like they're like maybe I'm just a snob. I don't know, but it wasn't boring and I definitely like could have pushed through. I definitely think I could have finished it. But I just really didn't like the way it was written. I again, it was like and this happened and then this happened and then this happened and then this happened. Like there was just no extraness. There was no something about it, and I know there's a movie and I feel like I'd rather watch the movie. Like when the writing doesn't like prop up the story and it has a movie, I feel like I should just watch the movie. I don't know. I just didn't really like the book. Interested in the story because I did get to a point where I want to know what happens to her. And I would like to actually learn about geishas. So I might watch the movie, but I really was so disappointed. I really thought this was going to be something that I was going to be obsessed with. I really did, but it wasn't. Now we have my two disappointments. These are books that I did finish. Now, these are not books I hated. I do not have 1 star or 2 star books. Very rarely does it happen because I DNF. Like I said, I'm good at DNFing. So I very rarely have 1 and 2 star books. Both of these were 3 stars because objectively, both of these books are great. These are both books I would highly recommend. I think that both of these books are the case of I'm the problem. I'm the problem. It's not the book, it's me. The first book is The Memory Police. Oh my god, I thought I was going to love this. This is basically about a woman who lives on this island, and on this island they do this thing where they make things disappear for whatever reason. I'm just going to give an example. For whatever reason, it might be like birds, and they decide one day that they want to get rid of birds, and so people wake up the next day and it's just like birds mean nothing, like birds are nothing, and all of a sudden, like anything attached to birds, no one talks about them anymore. It's like they just don't exist anymore. And as the story goes on, different things disappear. There are people who unfortunately don't fully forget these things, and there are these policemen called the memory police who take the people who don't forget things, who are supposed to but don't, and they take them, and essentially the main character has to hide somebody. That's what it says on the back of the book. I'm not telling you anything that the back of the book does not say, but that's what it says. This is 100% a case of it was me. And it was also probably my reception of the translation. I am such a character driven reader. If I do not care about the characters, I am not going to care about the story. It was beautifully written. It was very interesting. It was very thought provoking. I felt nothing towards the characters. I think it was a me problem with the reception to the translation. So like not the translator's fault, but just how my brain felt about the translation. Yeah. I yeah, it's not a horrible book. I think that it's a great book. I think people definitely need to read it. I just felt nothing with the characters. And that's why I gave it 3 stars, because the only issue really for me was how I felt with the characters. But yeah, that was The Memory Police. The next one, or the last book, is a book called Go as a River. This is another case of, this is a book that gets praised. This is a book about a woman in like a rural town, and she is like the only woman in her family, and they work on like a peach farm. And one day she meets a Native American man, and that meeting with that man spawns the events of the rest of the story. It changes the trajectory of her life forever. This was a very hard read. This is like one of those cases that I think where I love a good sad book, but I think sometimes when a book is like too sad and there's a lot going on and it's like it's very hard to read. I have a very hard time giving those books 5 stars because I almost didn't want to keep reading because I was so sad. Like there's other issues too, at least for me. The main thing is the pacing was all over the place. Like the beginning was so slow, and then you get whiplash because something happens, and the like middle of the story, it feels like it changes, like it starts to like tell you a story inside the story, and it's so fast. Like it goes from being so slow to covering such like a lot amount of time. And I just felt like the pacing was, it was too much for me. Like I felt like the pacing was competing with what the story was trying to do. It was not working for me at all. I think the characters were fine. I like want to say I wasn't connected to the characters, but I think it was the pacing. Like it was the pacing. I think that this is a beautifully written book. It's one of the most beautiful written books I've ever read. Like the language is gorgeous, like so pretty. But that's it. Like, and that's why I gave it 3 stars, because I think that I would still recommend it if you like a historical, like literary fiction type book. I think you'll definitely like it. Just the pacing was not for me, so I ended up giving it 3 stars. That's it. Those are all of my hard DNFs, all of my soft DNFs, all of my disappointments, my quarter 1 DNFs and disappointments, if you will. I'm gonna try to do this every single quarter for the year, and yeah. Like, subscribe, and let me know a book that you DNF'd this year. And yeah, I'll see ya. Bye.